As you guys can see from the title, I'm getting ready to talk about stats. Now, this is a big disagreement, or I guess hot topic or argument point that people like to argue when it comes to comparing players. Now, I'm going to talk about my two rivals, all right, on YouTube. First, you got the Half Truth. You know who he is, the Half Truth 341.5. And then you got the sports lunatic up there in Chicago, the fake analyst, that guy. You know who I'm talking about. And those two are completely opposites. The Half-Truth basically says stats are for losers, and he don't go by stats. And then you got the fake analyst, the crazy dude up there. Basically, all he does is just spit out stats. That's all he cares about is stats, and the Half-Truth don't give a damn about stats. Let me give you the reasons. First of all, the Half-Truth, the reason why he don't like stats, or says he doesn't like stats, is because of LeBron James. LeBron James is a stat sheet stuffer. And, when people come at the Half-Truth about stats, and, with Peyton Manning, too. Peyton Manning has good stats because he don't like Peyton or LeBron. The Half-Truth don't. He'll claim stats are for losers. And he'll say that, basically to discredit them for what they do on the field and on the court as far as their statistical dominance. He'll just downplay that, basically say stats are for losers, all about winning. And then you got the fake analyst, and all he basically says is, "Oh, this stat," and this guy will make up stats. He'll talk about win shares, and he'll make up all kind of stuff. Let me give you my opinion on stats. All right, let me try to explain this the best way I can. Now, I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to statistics. Because statistics are a very major part of how we measure a player's performance. As far as the mainstream media goes, and also people, when you go look at a game or look at the box scores and stuff, you want to know basically 5 things: how many points he had, how many rebounds, how many assists, how many blocks, how many steals. Those are usually the 5 main categories that are covered in the box score. Obviously, you got field goal percentage and turnovers and things like that. But see, there are many things in a basketball game that go on that you don't, keep track of, or keep stats of, or keep a statistical number to. There's just so many different things. I mean, if you just measured it by that, because obviously people think Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all time, and I do too. But I think LeBron James is better, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. If that was the case, if we just went by straight stats, what most people go by, then the facts state that Wilt Chamberlain, according to statistics, is the greatest basketball player of all time. I mean, according to statistics. I mean, this guy is Guinness Book of World Record statistical-wise. If you look at basketball records, his name is all through that book. Jordan is a couple of times too, but basically is Wilt Chamberlain. And it's almost like this guy is a mythical figure. But when it comes to players like Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, people like to use stats. And, I do too. I'll support looking at things on the basic statistical basis of, the things I said before, the 5 major categories. But the reason why people, I think, go by statistics so much is because, I'm not going to say we've been brainwashed to do that, but I think we just been taught that when we watch Sports Center and we watch sports shows and stuff like that, or the Disney Channel, some people call ESPN, the lunatic up there calls ESPN that. When we look at those things, we're taught to look at those statistics. We're so used to doing it. But me, I pay attention to that stuff, but I watch the game first, and then I put each statistical category or stat in its proper place. But I look at when they have the points. See, when you look at a box score, it doesn't tell you, like for instance, if you see Dwayne Wade shoot 12 for 24 from the field, it'll just say 12 for 24. It doesn't say that one basket or one of those field goals put the team up by 1 or gave them momentum, or that dunk or one of those field goals, made the team, get up and go crazy and go on a run, or that 3-pointer Danny Green. It doesn't say that on the stat sheet, man. And that's what I be trying to tell you. And I'm not saying I don't, completely don't go by stats. Of course I look at stats. There's so many different aspects of a basketball game that are not covered in those 5 major statistical categories. Like, for instance, the way a player runs up and down the court, his energy level, how he's speaking to his teammates, his body language. On defense, you got a center. He can block a shot, right? And I think I've said this before. He can block a shot. The team that just got their shot block can get the ball right back and score. Yeah, he might have intimidated them, and yeah, he got a block on the stat sheet, but the team scored. So it doesn't matter. But if you got a guy that blocks a guy's shot and sends it to the three-point line, and then his teammate gets the ball and scores, that is a good stat for me, because he blocked it and it led not only for the team that he was defending not to score, but then his team scored. And there's a number and several different things that you can talk about in those aspects, man. There's just so many different things that you can go by, in a basketball game that are not on a stat sheet. So do I think stats are for losers? It depends. You got some serious stat boys out here. And if you're feeling some type of way when I'm saying this, if you're feeling a little butthurt by me saying stat boy, then I'm probably talking to you. All right? People that all they do is talk about this stat. This guy had this many points. This guy had that many points. Those people, I don't really pay attention to, because to me, I don't look at the game like that. Now listen, everybody has their opinion. That's the bottom line. I got people all the time, ever since I've came out and said LeBron is better than Jordan. Oh boy, I got people just wanting to just unsubscribe, not talk to me no more. What do you mean? You need to get checked by the eye doctor. I need to, get drug tested. I must be an idiot. Listen, man. Let me tell you why, and I've said this in the video a few times, but let me tell you why I say LeBron is better than Jordan. And people just think I'm just saying that to piss somebody off or to be funny. No, I think LeBron James is a physically better talent than Michael Jordan. I've said this once, and I'll say it 1,000 times. The NBA and life is 90% mental. Michael Jordan's mental game is the best game I've ever seen. That's why he's the greatest basketball player of all time. He is. He is the greatest player that I've ever seen. Stats-wise, accomplishment-wise, everything that he's accomplished. But I think LeBron James is physically better, because I think he can do more on the basketball court than Jordan physically can. That doesn't mean he's greater than Michael Jordan. I just think he's a better all-around player. Now, will he surpass Michael Jordan? On my list, no. But on somebody else's list, yes. He's already passed other people's list as the greatest player of all time. I know little kids right now that think Jordan is not the greatest player. Why? They haven't seen him that much. Just like when I was growing up. When I was a kid, I didn't think Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest, or Jerry West, or Elgin Baylor, or Dr. J. I always thought Jordan and Magic and Bird were the guys. But if you ask my uncles and my dad and all them, they don't like Jordan. So it's all about people's opinions. And I do think LeBron James is a physically more gifted and more talented player than Michael Jordan. But that doesn't mean Michael Jordan is not the greatest to me. But just because he's the greatest to me and he's not the greatest to you, that doesn't mean you're an idiot or you don't know what you're talking about. People have their right to their opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. But for some reason, when it comes to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James, people get so butthurt if you pick one player over the other, if you don't say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. There are plenty of people, now it might be a minority, but there are plenty of people that think Michael Jordan is not the greatest player. And like I've said, I know them personally. So as far as stats are concerned, and like I said, the whole point of this video is, if that was the case, if we just went by statistics, there is no argument or no question about it. Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest player of all time. But he's not considered the greatest player of all time by many. It's Michael Jordan. So if that's the case, the next time you stat boys are talking about Michael Jordan being this and that, just really look at the numbers, man. Really look at everything in the game that make those numbers the way they are. Okay, just because somebody's going 12 for 24 from the field, he could have been 12 of 14 in the first half and then missed, the next, I don't know, all of it, his next 10 shots in the second half. Did that mean he had a good game? You got to look at everything that comes in there. So I know this video is a little bit long, but let me know what you guys think. I really want to know if you guys think stats are for losers. Are stats the end all be all? Or are you like me, somewhere in the middle? a little bit farther away from the stats and you think you really have to watch the game and everything has to be put in its proper place. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm really interested in hearing that. And also, what's your opinion about who's your favorite player, who's the greatest player, and also who's the greatest statistical player in NBA history, all right? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below, and don't worry, you won't be called a cold tart, or I won't delete your comment or anything like that because you disagree with me or didn't praise me or anything like that, all right? Thanks.